Hello, you are watching New Wave Global. My name is Malik Mashhood. The re-election of US President Donald Trump has once again put economic nationalism front and center into global trade talks. And guess what? It's shaking up international relations, disrupting global markets, and threatening economic stability. Trump's populist economic strategies, especially his focus on protectionism, are sending shockwaves worldwide. Just days into his second term, he's already reignited his trade war tactics, slapping new tariffs on America's three biggest trading partners: Mexico, Canada, and China. Now, here's the twist. Tariffs in Mexico and Canada have been delayed by a month after some last-minute phone calls. Both countries pushed back hard against Trump's move. But the tariff war with China, that's officially on. China has hit back with 15% tariffs on US imports and even launched an investigation into Google. Why? Because Trump's administration imposed 10% tariffs on Chinese goods. China's reasoning? They say it's about protecting their national security interests. Their tariffs target things like coal, liquid, natural gas, and critical minerals. Plus, they have added 2 US companies to their list of unreliable entities. So, why is Trump picking fights with other nations? And could the European Union be the next? Let's break it down. What's Trump's economic vision? To understand what's going on, we need to look at Trump's economic playbook. He's all about economic populism, policies built on protectionism, skepticism of free trade, and the belief that global economic deals have hurt the US. That's why he's using tariffs and trade restrictions to reshape economic relationships in ways he thinks will benefit America. Sounds familiar? It should. During his first term, Trump pulled out the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, renegotiated NAFTA, and waged a long trade war with China. Now, he's doubling down to tariffs again, but this time he's using emergency powers to justify them. Under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, Trump announced a 25% tariff on all imports from Canada and Mexico, except energy products. Here's the kicker. These three countries, Canada, Mexico, and China, account for over 1/3 of all US imports, worth a whopping $1.3 trillion annually. According to Bloomberg, this move could slash US imports by 15%. That's a huge disruption to global trade. So who gets hit the hardest? The hardest hit sectors will likely be automotive, energy, and food and agricultural sectors. There will be higher car prices and possible layoffs in the industry. Tariffs on industrial equipment could drive up energy costs. Meanwhile, farmers already struggling may face reduced exports and rising production costs. But why is Trump making such a drastic move? Let's look at the White House reasoning. The Trump administration says these tariffs aren't just about trade. They are about broader security and drug trafficking. They are accusing Mexico and Canada of failing to stop illegal immigration and drug trafficking into the US. A White House statement put it bluntly. The goal is to hold these countries accountable for their promises to stop illegal immigration and prevent the spread of deadly drugs into our nation. But here's the question. Are these claims even justified, or is it just another round of Trump's economic populism at play? Either way, the impact is already being felt globally, and the affected countries aren't staying quiet. Now, let's look at how are the countries reacting. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called the tariffs a threat to historic US-Canada relationships. In retaliation, Canada imposed a 25% tariff on up to $155 billion worth of US imports, targeting agriculture and manufacturing. Mexico, on the other hand, emphasized its commitment to dialogue and diplomacy, but was forced to hit back with retaliatory tariffs on US goods. They have also rejected Trump's claim that their government has ties to drug cartels, calling it baseless. Meanwhile, China has taken its case to the World Trade Organization, calling the tariffs a serious violation of international trade rules. Beijing has warned that escalating tensions could destabilize global markets and is urging Washington to return to negotiations. The next question is the EU next? Yep, it looks like it. Trump has hinted that the 27-member European Union could soon face new trade restrictions, though he hasn't given any specific timeline. The European Union isn't backing down though. At a meeting in Brussels, EU leaders made it very clear they are ready to fight back. French President Emmanuel Macron warned that Europe would defend its interests if targeted by the US tariffs. The German Chancellor also called for European unity, stressing that the EU must be prepared to respond with countermeasures if necessary. The EU has already started discussing potential retaliatory tariffs, and analysts worry this could spark a full-blown US-EU trade war. Now, what does this mean for the global economy? Two big things. There will be higher prices for consumers because tariffs drive up import costs, which means everyday Americans could see price hikes on cars, food, electronics, and energy. The other would be shifting trade alliances as tensions rise. Canada, Mexico, China, and the European Union might strengthen trade ties with other global partners. This could leave US isolated in long-term trade agreements. So, will other nations stand up to Trump's tactics like China did? Only time will tell.